Hello students, Abha Arora this side. Today I am going to start with fourth video lecture of chapter 11, which is dual nature of radiation and matter. In today's video lecture, the very first topic that I am going to take up for discussion is particle nature of light, that is photon. So photoelectric effect gave us evidences that light whenever interact with matter, it behave as it was made up of some packets of energy or quanta of energy, and that energy was how much? H into nu. H means Planck constant, nu means frequency. Then later on Einstein arrived at important result that light quantum means photons, they also carry some momentum, and that momentum is how much? It is h nu by c. H nu means energy divided by c, and what is c? It is speed of light. And how much is that? It is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. A definite value of energy as well as momentum, it's a strong sign that light quantum can be associated with a particle, because we already know that only a particle can have definite value of energy and momentum, and this particle was later named photon. There are some properties of photon. We are going to discuss it turn by turn. The very first property is in interaction of radiation with matter. Whenever radiation interacts with matter, it behave as matter. It behave as matter or particles, which is also called as photons. Second point is each photon has energy. How much? Planck's constant multiplied by frequency or h nu, and momentum, which is how much? Energy divided by speed of light, which is h nu divided by c. Third point, all photons of light of particular frequency or wavelength have the same energy. Means if all the photons are there and they have a particular frequency and wavelength, then all of them will be having same value of energy and momentum, because from formula of energy and momentum you can easily see that energy depends on frequency only and momentum depends on frequency, or we can say that they depends on wavelength. How? Because frequency is how much? It is c by lambda. Nu is how much? C by lambda, and lambda is here what? Wavelength. Okay, so energy depends on frequency or wavelength. So if particles have same frequency or wavelength, they'll be having same energy or momentum. Fourth point, the photons are electrically neutral, means no charge is there on photons. If no charge, it means they'll not be reflected by electric or magnetic field. Fifth point is that whenever interaction is there or collision is there between photon and a particle, and particle here we are considering electron, whenever there is a collision or interaction between a photon and an electron, what happens? Total energy and total momentum is always conserved. Total energy and total momentum, they are always conserved. However, number of photon may not be conserved. Means the electron can completely absorb the photon, or a new photon may be created in photon particle collision. So there were some 5 points related to the photon. They were the properties, or you can say they were the characteristics or features of photon, right? So let us proceed with example number 11.1. What does it say? It says monochromatic light. Monochromatic means single frequency or wavelength. Okay, monochromatic light of frequency 6 into 10 raised to power 14 hertz is produced by a laser. So there is some laser and which is producing a light, monochromatic obviously, whose frequency is how much? 6 into 10 raised to power 14 hertz. The power emitted is how much? The laser is having some power, and that power is how much? 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3 watt. And what we have to find out? A part is what is the energy of the photon. We have to find out energy of photon. So we all know the formula. Energy of photon is how much? It is h into nu. Planck's constant multiplied by frequency, and Planck's constant, because it's a constant, it is having a particular value. So it need not to be mentioned in the statement of the numerical. You must know it. And how was that? How much was that? It was 6 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second. Okay, 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second, and value of frequency that is given in the statement 6 into 10 raised to power 14. So just multiplication is left, you can do, and the answer is coming out to be 3.98 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 joule. B part, how many photons per second? How many photons means number of photons you have to find out, and that too per second, means you have to find out number. If let us suppose I'm saying it or I'm calling it as n, so you have to find out n by t, right, on an average emitted by a source. So how we can find out? Here one formula I have written, that par is how much? It's work by time. Par is what? Rate of doing work. Rate means in division time is there. So rate of doing work means work by time. Work by time. Let us suppose there are n particles you're discussing about, then it will be n w by t. Number will get multiplied because p is equal to w by t will be for one particle. If let us suppose the number of particles, what will happen? The formula of par will be multiplied by n, right? Now n by t, n means number of photons, multiplied by energy, work or energy, one and the same thing, divided by time. Now this small n by t is what? Basically I have written it as capital N, means number of particles per second. Number of particles per second, and that is what we have to find out in part B. How many photons per second means number per unit time. So capital N you have to find out, and capital N, how you can find out? You can take this E to the left hand side. It is in multiplication on right hand side, so it will be in division on left hand side. It will be P by E. Par is given to you, energy you have found out in part number A. So just you have to do the division, and some mathematical calculations are required, and you can find out that number of photons per second coming out to be 5 into 10 raised to power 15 photons per second. Very easy. I hope this numerical is clear to everyone. So let us proceed with example 11.2. The statement is saying the work function of cesium is 2.14 eV. Work function is given to you. And what was work function? What is this? What was the symbol of work function? Phi naught. Okay. And phi naught, how we can write phi naught? It was h into nu naught. H into nu naught, Planck's constant, multiplied by nu. Nu is frequency, but what is nu naught? Nu naught is having a particular name, threshold frequency. So basically what was work function? It was the minimum energy required to have photoelectric effect. Okay. So first part is you have to find out threshold frequency. What is work function? It is h into nu naught. Work function is given to you, Planck constant, you know what is the value of it. You just have to do the division and you'll find out what is the value of threshold frequency, and symbol of threshold frequency is nu naught. Right. Part B, the wavelength of the incident light. The wavelength of the incident light if the photocurrent is brought to 0 by a stopping potential of 0.60 volt. Means stopping potential is given to you. You have to find the wavelength of incident light. Okay. So how we are going to do that? We are going to solve it by using Einstein's photoelectric equation. And what was that? It was EV naught equals to h nu minus phi naught. EV naught is what? K maximum. It is equal to h nu. What is h nu? It is the energy which you are going to supply to the metal from outside, minus phi naught. Why we have subtracted? Because work function will be used. Amount of energy, some part of energy will be used. Okay. So how we can write nu? Nu can be written as, just now I have told you, nu can be written as C by lambda. So I am getting EV naught equals to hc by lambda minus phi naught. And what I need in this, I need lambda. So what I'm going to do, this phi naught is in subtraction on the right hand side. Take it to the left hand side, then it will be in addition. So you will be getting EV naught plus phi naught hc by lambda. Okay. Now what we can do, lambda is in division. I wanted in numerator, so we'll do reciprocal. So finally lambda will be hc divided by EV naught plus phi naught. Now let us check that if we have values of all of the parameters included in this formula. H, Planck's constant, we know that is 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34. Instead of 6.626, they're using it as 6.63. Okay, so they have just rounded off. Value of C, speed of light 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second, very well known to all of you. E, that is what? EV naught. EV naught is the energy, right? So basically it is how much? It is given as 0.60 EV. If you see that stopping potential is given to you 0.60 volt. Okay, this is the value of stopping potential, and energy is in EV. So 0.60 volt is multiplied by E. 0.60 volt is multiplied by E plus phi naught. It was given in EV. That's why we have not put up the value of E, because otherwise what will happen, this will change in V and you have to change phi naught also in V. So because we are adding two quantities, so whenever we are applying any operation on two quantities, their unit must be same. Okay, so I have not changed the unit of this EV naught. Then addition is there, then just mathematical calculation you have to do. But one thing you have to keep in mind, that your numerator is in joule but denominator is in EV. So what we can do, we know the definition of EV, that 1 EV is how much? It is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joule. So I've converted it in joule. Joule will get cancelled out, rest just you have to divide the parameters given. Okay, and finally you are getting how much? 454 nanometer. Nm, N means nano, nano means 10 raised to power minus 9, nano means 10 raised to power minus 9. So what was our numerical? In A part, it was said to found out threshold frequency. How we have found out? We have just used the formula work function, which was h nu naught. In second part, wavelength we have to find out, and stopping potential was given. So what we have done, we have found out it by using Einstein photoelectric equation, and that is EV naught is equal to h nu minus phi naught, right? Okay, so let us move to the next example, which is 11.3. And what does it say? It is saying the wavelength of light in the visible region is about 390 nanometer for violet light, about 550 nanometer for yellow green color, and about 760 nanometer for red color. So 3 colors are given to you and their wavelengths are being provided. Okay, A part is saying what are the energies of photon in EV. You have to find out energy of photon in EV for all of these 3 colors: violet, yellow green and red. And they have also given you the value of H and 1 EV. So basically energy of photon is how much? It is h into nu, but nu is not given to us. What is given? Wavelength is given. So if wavelength is given, then I know that nu is how much? It is c by lambda. Nu is how much? It's c by lambda. So formula of energy of photon is coming out to be hc by lambda. H is a constant, c is a constant, lambda is given to you. So what you have to do? You just have to solve some mathematical calculations and then you will get your energy for all of these 3 colors. But one thing you have to keep in mind, that lambda is given in nanometer. Lambda for all of these 3 colors, it is given in nanometer. So you just have to convert this nano. Nano means 10 raised to power minus 9. And when you will solve it, obviously meter will get cancelled out. I am just taking this violet light for consideration. So meter will get cancelled out. Joule will be left. It will be 510 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joule divided by, why they have divided it? Because it was clearly mentioned in the question that energy must be in EV. Energy must be in EV. So if you have to convert joule into EV, then you have to divide the given data with 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joule. Then energy for violet light is coming to be 3.19. Same process you have to follow for yellow green color, and energy is coming out to be 2.26 EV. For red light it's coming out to be 1.64 EV. So this was very simple. Let us see that in B part what they want. So they are saying from which of the photosensitive material with work functions listed in the table 11.1 using the result of 1, 2 and 3 of A, can you build a photoelectric device that operates with visible region? So basically what you have to do, we are having energy for 3 colors, right? And there was one table. I think I have also shown you this table in video lecture 1, where I have make you understand about work function. One table was given. So what you have to do, you have to refer that table and you have to find out for which of the material we can have photoelectric effect for visible region. So let us see 3 energies we're getting: 3.19 EV, 2.26 EV and 1.64 EV. So 11.1 table was there. Okay, so this is table number 11.1 and three energies I'm having with me. 3.19 eV, 2.26, 1.64. So I have to find out the materials for which these lights can perform photoelectric effect. Let us start from 1.64. If the incident energy is 1.64, incident energy is how much? 1.64, and the work functions are listed like this. So is photoelectric possible? Photoelectric effect is possible for 1.64 energy if it is supplied from outside? No, because no material is over here in the table whose work function is less than 1.64 eV. So it means this light is not going to perform any photoelectric effect. Now let us move to 2.26 eV. If you are supplying 2.26 eV, means the material whose work function is less than 2.26 can only be performing photoelectric effect. So less than 2.26, I'm seeing this cesium only, whose work function is 2.14. So it will perform only photoelectric effect, and rest all of them are having their work functions greater than 2.26, so they will not going to perform any photoelectric effect. Right, now another energy is 3.19 eV. So if you are supplying 3.19 eV, then material whose work function will be less than 3.19 eV, that material will only going to perform photoelectric effect. So I'm observing that cesium is fine because its work function is less than 3.19 eV. Potassium fits in that category. Sodium, calcium will not, because it's 3.19 you're supplying, but it needs 3.20. So three materials are there, or three metals are there: cesium, potassium, sodium. For 1.64, no material is there. For 2.26, we are having only cesium, and for 3.19, we are having three materials: cesium, potassium, and sodium. I hope you have understood all the numericals, 11.1, 11.2, and 11.3. So this was all about today's video lecture. Go through each and every topic thoroughly, and if any doubt is there, do let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video lecture.